Hi. I'm also trying to use chat to see if it can come up with a better bio for me. I'm filling out an online questionnaire right now not questionnaire, but form for an upcoming speaking engagement that I have in the fall. And I asked chat if it could come up with a better bio than what I had been using. And the one that it gave me was so boring. I literally said, this is so boring. So it is not doing well. But hello, friends. I wanted to talk about something. I'm waiting to go meet a friend of mine for dinner. But I've talked recently about how I have started working with a health and fitness coach because I have recently hit the highest number on the scale that I have ever seen in my life. Has anyone ever had that happen? Where you're like, oh no. I remember I used to tell myself, I was like, if I hit this number, my life is over. And I hit that number. Has anyone had this experience before? Let me know. And the funny thing is, I didn't hire this health and fitness coach because of the scale. It wasn't actually until I had to take my beginning numbers to log them that I actually saw that, because I just haven't been weighing myself. I knew that I had put on a few pounds, but I still can dress okay, right? And when I saw that number on the scale, I had very mixed emotions. I was obviously sad because I didn't want to see that number, but I didn't feel the way that I thought I would have felt years ago. If I would have hit this number before I had done all this work over the last several years, but more so within the last probably 2 years, maybe even the last few months, to be honest, and working with different professionals, I would have felt terrible. I would have been so depressed. I would have hated myself. I would have been a shell of who I am. But through working with different professionals and realizing that the skinnier version of me was actually a way more unhealthy version of me, I'm trying to reframe my mind, because I will be completely honest and open, because that's who I am. I have had digestion issues my entire life. Ever since I was a child, I've always had issues going to the bathroom. And I saw a GI doctor, and they basically told me to take a laxative, and that's what I have been doing for the last 15 years, religiously, every morning with my coffee. Marilax goes in. I didn't even know it was possible to function without it. I was just like, no, I can't. Until I started seeing my acupuncturist, and she was like, no, we can find another solution. We can find something that's healthy. And I no longer take a laxative, and that blows my mind, because this is something I've struggled with my entire life, and all I needed was guidance and direction, and for someone honestly to just say it's possible. And there were moments of uncomfortableness, but I have been laxative free, if you will, for a very long time now. And I didn't know that it was just dependent on the types of food that I was eating. And so what's interesting is, now that I am at the highest weight I've ever been, my body is functioning in a way that it has never functioned before, and in a fantastic way, for the right reasons. I never had my digestion just operate on its own like a normal person's should. My entire life, I kid you not, every single day in high school, I had the worst stomach pains. It was terrible. And so I've started working with this health and fitness coach because I did notice I was putting on a few pounds, but more than that, as I get older, I see my family members also get older, and I notice a lot of the struggles that they go through day to day. I'm 35 almost, and so it's an interesting place to be, to see friends and family members, and just things happen, as we get older. And so my goal with this is not to lose weight for aesthetic reasons, but my goal is to have a stronger body and have a healthier body and have a better functioning body. So it's a little interesting because And I'm also trying to reframe the way that I'm thinking about this, because I'm not thinking about my meal plan as a diet. I'm thinking about it as guidelines to make sure that I'm getting the right amount of protein. That's the first thing. And then we're going to work on, the carbs and fats and all of that. But it's just tracking and seeing like what I'm actually eating. And so I've done this for a week now, and I hopped on the scale this morning just out of curiosity to see, and the scale did not move at all. And there are probably things I could have done. I mean, I'm not in a calorie deficit. I'm truly not. So the scale really isn't going to move, and I'm learning, but I'm getting stronger. But what was so interesting was I was completely okay with that. I really just kind of shrugged it off. I was like, oh well. It would be great if I did lose a few pounds, but what does that mean? Like, why do I have to be a certain weight? And also, no matter what the scale says, it's never going to live up to a societal standard, because I'm a tall woman. And some people are just larger. And that's life. I'm never going to be a skinny Pilates princess. That's just not the way that my body is built. And I shouldn't feel bad about that. And weight is not the end all be all, because a number on a scale does not determine how healthy you are. And in fact, my health coach saw that at my gym. There's actually a test you can take, so to speak, that yes, it does measure your weight, but it actually measures like your strength, your body fat, your flexibility and things like that. So there are all those other factors that come into play. So I want you to think about that. If your body has changed, are there other factors that have changed? For me, gaining weight, yes, has been hard because my body looks different in my clothes. But my body is actually functioning so much better, because when I was skinnier, I was under eating and I was under fueling myself, which was not good. I was constantly tired. I was living off of caffeine. I've cut back, which is fantastic. But numbers are not the end all be all. And I want you to think about that and kind of reframe what's going on. I received a message from somebody, and I receive DMs from people all the time asking for style advice. But this one stood out in particular because it's been a while since I've received a DM like this. And she asked me for style advice, but all she did was tell me negative things about her body. This is fat. That's fat. This is too small. That's too large. Nothing looks good. What do I do? And you know what my response was? I said, hold on. Let me block this person. Perfect. I told her, I said, there's no advice that I can give you right now, because nothing is going to change the way that you feel about your body until you do the work on the inside. I said, wearing different clothes is not going to solve your problem, because what you're putting on your body is not the problem. I said, you need to do the work on the inside, and then I can help you. But until you learn to love yourself a little bit more, there's nothing I can do for you. And I said that. Maybe not those exact words, but more or less. She sent me a message back and said, how do I do that? And I told her what I did. I've changed the way that I talk about myself, and I filmed, it actually inspired me to create a little video this morning. You truly have to change the way that you talk about yourself, the way that you look at your body. Instead of saying, oh my God, I have rolls, this is disgusting, you can say, oh my God, my little back rolls are so cute and squishy. Look at how cute they are. I mean, literally, I call my belly rolls cute and my back rolls cute. And instead of saying I'm flabby, I say that I am soft and squishy and huggable. Because what would you rather hug? A stiff wooden board or a soft teddy bear? And that's not to say that my skinny girls are not huggable. I am not saying that at all. You also are huggable. But I know more women struggle, or I shouldn't say more, but a lot of women struggle with the opposite. A lot of women struggle with feeling like they are too large. I do have a friend who was struggling with the opposite. She was very skinny, and she's celebrating the fact that she is now a size 2. And that's great for her. Her struggle is something that is completely different. And a lot of people would say, oh, I wish I had that problem. But you know what? She is an adult, and she has not been able to wear adult clothes. She's had to shop in the junior section. And so that's been really difficult for her. She has not felt like she's been able to dress her age because she's had to wear smaller clothes because she was not able to gain weight. So we all have our own insecurities. But when you talk about your body differently, your brain listens. And it's not easy to do. I'm not going to lie to you and say that you talk nice about your body once and then all of your problems are solved, but it will help. And you have to do it consistently. It's just like everything else. You can't work out for a week, expect your body to change, and then never work out again. Or if you work out for 6 months, achieve your dream body, and then you never go to the gym again, it's going to disappear. You have to work at it consistently every single day. And what I've done too is I have looked at different statues and sculptures and paintings of ancient goddesses and, women from the Victorian ages or Victorian time, whatever you call it, a long, long time ago. Women who had curves and women who had really soft bellies, and they were beautiful. And they still are beautiful. We have to differentiate aesthetic beauty and health. Because I'm not condoning people to be unhealthy. I think everyone is lovable, but I think we also have to be realistic and we all have to be healthy, and that's going to look different for everyone. Health is completely different for everyone. The way you look and your health are not always the same. You can look great and be extremely unhealthy. Just like I was under eating, and I still was, a decent size. So if you're struggling with weight or body confidence or anything like that, you're not alone. It can change. And I hope that you learn to talk to yourself and about yourself differently. And remember the red rule. And so if you have a daughter, a lot of my friends have daughters, so this really hits home for them. A sister, mother, friend. It's always easier to be nicer to other people. Nieces. I have even my friends who have young daughters. Think about this. The way that you talk about yourself or to yourself when you look in the mirror, would you say it to that little girl? Would you say it to your daughter? Would you say that about your mom? Would you say that about the little girl version of your mom? Because even when you look at the little girl that you were, sometimes you can still be mean to her too, because that's you. But looking at the little girl of someone else, you wouldn't say it to their face. You wouldn't say it about that little girl. Then don't say it about yourself, because you deserve just as much love. With that being said, I need to head out. I am meeting a girlfriend for dinner. But yeah, I hope that you say something nice to yourself today. And I'll be talking to you soon. Bye.